Welcome back to Make Play Treasure. Today we're reading Walking for Water, How One Boy Stood Up for Gender Equality, written by Suzanne Hughes. Victor and his twin sister, Lindsay, finished their morning chores and it was time to go. How embarrassing, thought Victor. Mama didn't always need to remind them. And all the neighbors that she loved him and his sister, she already kissed them each a dozen times that morning. At the tree, Lindsay and her friend Anifa knocked their water buckets together in greeting and headed off to the riverbed. Victor felt a weird tug at his heart. It felt strange to go to school without his sister. But then Anifa's brother, Shikondi, yelled to Victor, who hurried to catch up, shrugging the feeling away. Victor was glad when math time was over. Nothing could make him like doing calculations, but Victor did like his new teacher. Mr. Tambala let the class practice their vocabulary words by using them in silly sentences. And now Mr. Tambala was using funny voices as he read aloud to the class, something their old teacher never did. Victor turned to share a laugh with Lindsay. But that's right, she wasn't there. Everyone in the village needed water for drinking, cooking, and washing. But there wasn't a well. The women and older girls fetched the water for their families from the river. That's how it had always been. So when Victor and his sister had turned 8 a few weeks ago, just at the start of the school year, Lindsay began the daily walks for water, giving Mama more time for the farming. Watching Lindsay strut around like she was all grown up, Victor had almost wished he got to collect the water. But not anymore. Every day now, Lindsay was missing school to collect water. 5 walks to the river, and 5 walks home. Later in the afternoon, Mr. Tambala surprised the class with something new again, something their old teacher had never talked to them about. Equality means everyone, boys and girls, has the same rights. Boys and girls should also have the same opportunities. We'll be talking more about this in the days to come, but first, some homework. Look at your own lives. Think about whether boys and girls are treated equally. As school was over for the day, Victor stopped and looked. All the girls in his class headed home to do chores, but the boys... When Victor got home from playing, his sister was there helping Mama prepare the evening meal. And after they ate, Lindsay cleaned up while he did homework. Tonight that meant thinking about whether he and Lindsay had equal opportunities. Well, I have lots of choices. I want a family of my own one day, but first I want to finish school. I could try to get a job here in town. I could own a shop or drive a truck. Maybe I could be a teacher or a lawyer. But Lindsay, already she isn't going to school anymore. Later that evening, Victor tried to show Lindsay what she'd missed in school that day. But he couldn't explain math in the clear way Mr. Tambala did. And the next night, Lindsay was too tired to even try to learn. Victor found himself thinking more about equality. In the morning, after Victor and Lindsay raced each other off to the kachar tree, Victor watched Lindsay head off to the river. This wasn't equality. Definitely not. Lindsay should get to keep learning and maybe become a teacher or a lawyer too if she wanted. So that evening, Victor gathered his family. Victor, Lindsay, and Mama talked for a long time, and by the end of the evening, they had all agreed to try Victor's idea. The next morning, the twins met their friends at the kachari tree as usual, but this time, it was Lindsay who headed down the path to school with Chikondi. Victor felt a different kind of tug at his heart. Now it felt strange to see his sister going to school without him. Well, come on, Tortoise. Victor grinned and joined the line of women and girls walking to the river. That day, it was Victor who walked back and forth to the river 5 times. The walk was long and the bucket was heavy. He got tired and bored. He even practiced math calculations in his head to pass time. But he was proud to be helping his family and happy his sister was at school. Then, the next day, it was Lindsay's turn to walk for water and Victor's turn to go to school. And the day after that, they switched again and again and again. Their evenings were different now, too. One night, Victor would help Lindsay keep up with the work she missed. The next night, Lindsay helped Victor with his. As well, just as Mr. Tambala had promised, the class continued their talks about equality. And so the very next week, there was another change. When the twins arrived at the Kacher tree, they saw Chikandi, not Anaifa, holding a water bucket. So many changes and more coming. Maybe Mr. Tambala giving extra classes, maybe a village well, but for sure, more changes to bring equality to boys and girls in the village. Victor was sure because he was determined to help make them happen. But that was for later. Right now, it was time to run all the way to the Kacher tree. The end. Hope you like this book, and remember to like and subscribe so you can keep up with our reading events and activities. Catch you next time on Make Play Treasure. Bye!